It's episode 53 of Indecisive Cinema. I'm Jeremy Knight.
I'm Carlos Hernandez.
He's getting attacked by his cat
I
again.
know,
Or the
right?
cat's tail.
His
We
cat.
said
Get
there'd be
down.
no more cats on the
I
show.
know. He just jumped up while we were talking.
We're trying not to pander to the audiences that we're more interested in kitties
The
than hearing
cats.
us talk. So, but no, kitties are great. Anyway, yeah, today we're talking about Stephen King movies. I saw the Stand By Me 40 was it 45 years or 40-year remaster. I forget how many years, but
Uh,
it's
came
in the
out.
40s.
It's 40 because it's eight. Yeah, it came out in '86, so it's 40 years.
But yeah, so I went and saw that. So we're going to talk about just our like favorite
Pizza.
Stephen King adaptations, and then
Mhm.
have a detailed kind of spoiler-filled discussion of Resurrection, a Chinese film from last year, which is an interesting one. I think we'll have a lot to talk about, at least discuss. Uh, and yeah, it should be a fun episode. Happy to be here. So sorry
Yeah,
we
me too.
didn't record on Tuesday. I was just worn down. I
Yeah.
had ingrown toenail surgery on Monday on my right toe, which honestly has gone a lot better than the first one. The left toe was just it was like a 2 week recover, like full 2 week recovery to get
Shit.
back to normal. But this one, like I squatted this morning and did legs and like went for a walk, and we're 3 days past the surgery, so I'm kind of surprised honestly. But
Yeah, yeah.
I do have to give a shout out to fellow movie lover, Dr. Shamsi, the guy who did my foot surgery. I forget what prompted the conversation. It was something like he had done like I think the nurse said he did six of them before me that morning or something. I'm like, geez, like yeah, it's like one every 30 minutes.
Yeah, right. I was gonna
And he was like, yeah, I mean,
say.
it's just part of it's kind of like getting a filling, at this point. Like
Yeah.
people get ingrown toenails all the time, and he was like, I at this point I'm pretty desensitized to it. Like just working in the medical industry, he was like, I'm pretty desensitized to the
Yeah.
just the gore of it, and he was like, even like horror films don't do much for me or something. And then
Oh,
he was like, but you know what does? And he started just listing off a bunch of different movies that were like really great. He was like, No Country for Old Men. I just love that film. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great one. He was like,
your
you know
film.
what movie I really love is that just really gets me is There Will Be Blood. And I'm like, dude, I got the tattoo, man.
Oh man.
And then he mentioned like Silence and Sunshine and all these like just cerebral art films,
Interesting.
just like
Yeah,
these
yeah.
like really like I was like, you know your stuff. These aren't like just normal
Yeah, yeah.
picks,
Right.
but all of this he's saying while like prepping the needle to inject my toe with, and then just pulling the thing out of there while we're having a deep movie conversation. It was a really weird experience, but yeah, I mean, Dr. Shamsi
Dr.
seems like a
Schultz.
good guy. At the end, I was like, can we be friends? Like, I think.
We got the same tastes.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm glad that's over with.
Yeah.
Hopefully by like summer, I'll be fully healed from all the surgeries and just all that stuff. So I'm over it, but
Yeah.
glad to be able to get it done.
Good.
And
Yeah.
yeah, what's up with you though?
So no, same old, same old. Working when you told me, that you weren't gonna do the show Tuesday. I just said to my boss, "Listen, I'm gonna work overtime tonight instead of Thursday." So that's it. So like I said, normally Monday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm working till 8 p.m. every night.
Damn.
And yeah, and they give me, but it's easy accounts. It's accounts that I could literally adjust off for people. So that's cool. It goes back quick and listening to my records. But yeah, other than that, it's cool. Like I said, Rhonda got the car. She went to help her sister move. They finally moved after like a month, waiting for the new place to be ready.
Where did they
And
move
that's
to?
really it. So they live in Alden,
Okay.
and they literally moved from one apartment complex to the other.
Hmm.
So it's like literally like cross street. So it's cool. And let's say, yeah, Gloriana said she's going to pass by later, but I don't know if she will. Gloriana's a flake. She wanted to watch a couple of horror movies, so I got a few on the list to check out.
What's on the list?
So she wants to see. Oh my god, I forgot this movie. Let me go to Peacock. It's a movie on Peacock, and I haven't seen it yet. It's escaping my mind. Oh, Primate, your favorite movie,
Oh,
Primate.
the one that looks kind of fun at least.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah. So we're gonna see
cool
that
monster
tonight.
movie.
Yeah, So me and Rhonda said I don't want to see that stupid movie. So I said okay. So or watch Primate on Peacock.
Nice. Well, cool. Well, did you see any other movies this week? I know you put together a top five Stephen King list as well. Is there anything other than
Yes,
Resurrection
yes,
that
I
you
did.
saw? Anything worth talking about?
Um, yeah, no, we laid low. Oh, I mean, we saw Good Fortune,
Oh, okay,
the
that
movie
looked
that
kind of
came out.
fun. That's Aziz's like
Yeah, with Keanu
directorial.
Reeves and Aziz Ansari. Yes, yes. It was fun. Not great, but it was fun. What I hate about Keanu Reeves is that he keeps that John Wick look now for
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
So being that John Wick is so iconic character, it just throws me off. It's like seeing him with the long hair and the beard. I'm like, he's supposed to be an angel, but he looks like John Wick, you know. So it's like crazy, but yeah, but it was fun. It was cute. Aziz Ansari is always funny. And the cast, supporting cast, Sandra Oh, Kiki Palmer, um, and Seth Rogen. Rogen was funny in it too, so it was good. It was
Good
cute.
cast, yeah. I
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah,
trailer. I mean, it looks like one of those that I was like, I could see that or not see that, and it wouldn't make a
yeah.
difference in my
Agreed.
life. But if
Agreed.
if you're trying to find something that's like accessible for everyone, it looks like it's not
Yes.
like offensive in any
Oh
way.
yeah, yeah. No, not in any way. Yeah, it's yeah, exactly accessible.
I
Fine.
think the whole movie's in the trailer though. That's the other I like all the main beats of it are just in that thing, and you're like, all right, I don't even need to see it now. Like I
That is
know the
correct.
dynamic, I know what it's kind of trying to comment on, like the
Yeah.
rich lives versus poor lives, and the
Really.
the contrast in between, and all that. It's all there, but
It
it looks
is. It
funny
is
at
all
least.
there. Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks harmless, but
Yeah. If you're ever bored one day, just put it on if there's nothing you want to watch.
man, I other than I'm gonna go take Marissa to see Project Hail Mary tomorrow, but I just have no interest in anything else in theaters. Like
Oh,
I could care less about Ready or Not 2, even though reviews aren't terrible. I just like don't think they
yeah,
needed to
yeah.
make another one of those.
True.
Like let's
True.
do it again. Like, what? Like I don't know. It's just a dumb movie to make a sequel to. And I also think there's a too much in that trailer as well. Talking about
Yes.
another spoiling
Yes.
again. Like there's
Yep.
literally a scene where they explode.
Yeah, and that's the end. That's what happens at the end of the movies. So I'm like, I was telling it to
Unless they
Ron. I
change the
said,
rules or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was telling her, and then what's his name? Elijah Wood is like like they're promoting it so much. Like, we watch Mythical Kitchen, and there's a program on that show called Last Meals. He was on that, and they would talk for an hour and 15 minutes, and it's just like that's where the Greasy
He's
Strangler
probably the
came back.
biggest name other than I mean the lead is great. She's
Yeah,
really
Sarah
good at the
Michelle
first one.
Gellar, Samara Weaving. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like I still want to see it. I probably will, but I mean,
Not in
they're
theaters
promoting.
though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like if you click on YouTube, you'll see all the things they did to promote the film, like all these little YouTube shows. I was like, shite. I was like, damn, they did almost every friggin'
They put a
show.
ton of money into the marketing
Oh
for it. And
yeah,
I don't
definitely,
think it's
definitely. Yeah.
doing well. I haven't looked at the numbers, but it'll find an audience on streaming though. If it, I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah, of
it's a horror
course, of
movie.
course.
I mean,
Yeah,
it is a sequel to a film that I think did really well and I like the first one a lot.
yeah, me too.
But I just don't know that people were like actively seeking out the sequel. And if you hadn't seen the first one, I don't know. I just it's just kind of a
How
strange
about
title to put that much effort into marketing. But
um? It also came out, I think, last weekend, or it's coming out. The They Want to Kill You came out
that
Friday.
looks interesting. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I think that one I'm like I kind of know what that is.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I like the action component of it looks
Yes,
interesting,
yes.
and I like the lead from Atlanta.
Zazie Beats. Yeah,
She's great in
yeah.
that show at least. I don't know if I've
Oh
seen
yeah,
her in much else, but because I think that's the first thing I saw her in. I don't know if she's
yeah, yeah. She
uh
was in Deadpool 2. She was in The Joker. Remember, she
okay.
played the neighbor that he
Yeah, that's right.
like.
Isn't that Boots Riley that directed the They Will Kill You? Is that
Yeah.
his?
Oh wait, is it that or is it the other movie with the stealing of the clothes? What's that called?
Oh, that's his. Yeah, you're right.
That's
You're
Boots
right.
Riley. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's also in that though. That's an ensemble. I forget who all's in that. That has a
Yeah,
good cast as
that
well.
has Demi Moore. It has Kiki Palmer. It has yeah, it does have a bigger cast. Lakeith, what's his name? Stanfield. Yeah,
Stanfield, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's got a big cast as well.
I
Um,
did watch Sorry to Bother You again, like pretty recently, and it held up pretty well.
yeah,
That's
right.
a fun movie.
It is fun. Yeah, I like that movie. He's
But
good
yeah,
in it.
They Will Kill You. I don't know who directs that, but it looks It looks stylish at least, and kind of. I mean, it
Yes,
looks. There's definitely the old boy shot is in the trailer. I'm like, all right, I know what
yes,
we're doing here.
yes.
Um, and then what's her name? Please, like the villain.
Demi Moore.
Not Demi Moore. No, no. In the They Will Kill You, isn't it?
Arquette, Patricia
Yeah,
Arquette.
Patricia Arquette. Yeah. Um, Anyway, but they just none of these things. I'm like, oh, I gotta see. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, no, no, I got
Project
you.
Hail Mary is the only one that I think is like you gotta go to the theater to see that. And I was really
Oh
having an itch to go. I'm glad that Stand By Me came out, which I guess can get us into the Stephen King
yeah,
discussion. Because I Stand By Me. I feel like I know I've seen it once.
yes.
I don't remember finishing it or being all that excited about it at the time, but
Mm,
I didn't have a true appreciation for Rob Reiner, I think, at the time,
mm.
other than Spinal Tap, which I love.
Spinal
It's one of
Tap,
my
yeah,
favorite films.
yes.
Um, I love When Harry Met Sally as well. I guess
Great film.
Princess Bride, though, I've never been as big on until very recently. Like that movie finally kind of clicked for me, where I was like, okay, I
Okay,
get
yeah.
what this is, and I don't know, I've just never been in the mood whenever I put that on, and I think for the first time we watched that like a last year because Marissa loves it, and we got the
Oh
Criterion
yeah.
edition of it.
All girls love that movie. Rhonda
Oh,
loves that
sure,
movie.
but it's also just like a goofy,
Oh
fun
no, it is.
movie.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
so great.
But it's like you say, Marissa loves it, and I'm like, Rhonda loves it. I mean, I dig
Sure.
that film, I do, but that's all she's like. As you wish. She says it all the time when I ask her something. So it's like,
I think it was just there's so much hype around that film for that reason, but also just like
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
loves that film. I mean, it's a big and I it just never like wowed me. And then recently
Mm.
I was like, okay, I see how dumb this is, like how goofy. It's a bunch of like really men acting very silly.
Silly, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot last year. So I think like I finally kind of have seen the classics of his, and now Stand By Me, I feel like worked for me really well this time. I think
Good, good.
seen on the big screen, it's a good remaster
Oh
of
yeah,
it as well. Like
yeah.
it looks, I mean, it's a good looking movie, I think originally, but I think the remaster looks fantastic. I don't know how much restoration they did on it, but
Hmm.
looks great on the big screen though. And I mean, there's like the train sequence on the big screen. I was like, this is like the
Yeah.
scale of this sequence is amazing. Like, and then there's it just like all the stuff in the woods and them like walking along all the fields and the train tracks
Yeah.
and stuff and all the like landscapes in them. I mean,
Yes.
it's just there's these great tracking shots. Like every time they walk up to the tree
Who's the
house.
cinematographer? Did you catch that?
I didn't look that up. Once you look that up, I can.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not. I mean, this is a kind of everybody's
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
Stand by
Yeah,
Me or knows of it. It's not like we need to.
yeah,
At
right.
this point, we're going. We'll talk spoilers. If you haven't seen Stand by Me, go check it out in theaters.
We'll
Though I
see
think
it.
it's like
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it or truly seen it like myself, I think this is a good opportunity to go check it out. River Phoenix is like legitimately
Oh
great
yeah.
and
He's
like really
amazing.
really good. And I mean, he's like 12 or something. Maybe he's 14 or something when they filmed this. And like
Yeah, he was 14 at the time. Yeah.
he gives like a great dramatic performance that I mean from a kid that age, I mean I'm really impressed. I mean it's such a
Thomas.
sad thing. What go
It's
ahead.
Thomas Del Ruth.
Okay, what else has he
Yeah.
done?
Yeah. I was about to say I was him. Not familiar with the name. Um. Interest. Stand by Me. The Running Man.
Okay,
So
Running
a
Man's cool.
lot of TV after that. He did The West Wing.
That's
He
cool.
did Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, ER. So yeah, he's in a lot
Big
of
network stuff. Yeah.
yeah big TV shows. But yeah, yeah, mostly in the 80s he did film. Like he did Blue Thunder in 83. He did The Main Event in 79. He did oh yeah, so yeah he's done a lot of movies, but I guess he got into television after the 80s. Yeah, so
Steady job.
yeah, amen. Yeah.
If you got a family, I bet it's really hard to go make movies in your in your 50s. Like I can't imagine um being gone, just
Yeah,
being
yeah.
gone for 60 days at a time. Like, and, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, also Kiefer Sutherland is great in
Yeah,
this, and
amazing. Yeah.
he's great in everything. But I mean, like, he's just like this is like a classic movie villain, like bully
Evil,
character.
yeah,
And
Ace.
who reminds me of him a lot is like Austin Butler right now. Like, I feel like they
Interesting.
have at least like the young Kiefer Sutherland. I think like Austin Butler's kind of giving out that like bad
Bad
boy with
boy,
some
yeah.
charm vibe.
I like that.
And yeah, he's really great in it. I mean, the cast is awesome. I mean, the
Yeah.
Corey Feldman's good.
Yeah,
He
he's
he
great.
reminds me of like Martin Sheen from Apocalypse Now, and
Apocalypse Now.
with the outfit. I mean, obviously it's like he's
Yeah,
dressed
yeah.
up as a military.
Soldier.
person. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's like a small town authenticity to it and a
Yes.
camaraderie, a genuine camaraderie to it that I think we've
Yeah.
just like, I feel like we've lost that sense of authenticity and camaraderie in more recent years. I mean, there's movies that definitely I think still capture that, but it's not at this scale. Like it just has like a genuine. It feels like you're watching some kids explore in the woods,
Yeah.
and there's like a genuine. I mean, they get into some tussles over the course of the
Yes.
film, but there's a genuine respect for one another that like is just cool to see. I don't know. It's like it just and it just feels like a it feels like a Stephen King novel
Yeah. Yeah.
in that way as well. Just set in this small town and small town problems and like the even just the whole purpose of the film is made out to be this big thing for the
Yeah.
kids, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's just like they're going to find a body in the woods.
Out
You
in
know,
the
it's
woods.
not like some kind of life-changing thing to go do. I mean, they're kind of just doing it to get some notoriety
Yeah.
locally.
Media attention. Yeah.
Like the stakes aren't high, but I do think the coming of age component of it and the way that you grow to understand these four characters. It's four of them, right?
Yeah. For the
Been a
boys.
week
Yeah.
since I saw it. But yeah, so I just the only thing I didn't like about it is like I don't but the narration feels kind of sporadic, and I bet in the book that's totally normal, but I thought that was
Yeah,
adapted
I was
kind of
going to say the book and the film are really closely like they cut out Gordy pieces of his book come to life. So he they talk about two of his books. So you cut back and forth between the characters of his book and how it
interesting.
pertains to the what happened to him as a child. And but that was cut out, which is perfect because you really didn't need that.
You
And
still
then
get the one scene though with
the
the
pies.
piping, like the
Yes,
lard ass sequence is just
lardass,
great,
and
and
that's yeah,
it's a
and
great
that's why.
little like break in the film, but it's also just a
Yes,
fun. It's just a
fun.
fun.
Yeah,
That's such a classic like Rob Reiner sequence.
yeah. We would grow up saying "chow down, wide low" to all the
Mm,
fat kids.
yeah.
And the only thing that I do like in the book, though, I mean, you could tell me if you think it was necessary or not. The book does go into what happens to them after that day,
Okay.
not just cut
More of an
to River
epilogue.
Phoenix as an adult. Yeah, it tells you what happened to them as they get older, and then it culminates with the story about what happened to River Phoenix character. But and I liked it because I just feel like everyone kind of ends, and I'm talking about the bad guys too,
Sure.
like
Yeah.
Ace and everybody, and it gives you what happens to them too, like in all Stephen
It's
King
like one
fashion.
line. It's like almost like a title crawl at the end, like that
Yes,
you would see in
yeah,
a movie
yeah,
where it's like this guy lived to be 45
yes,
years old, and
and
but
yeah,
yeah, it's just told through narration. I mean, that's
yes,
fine. I agree. I think you could definitely portray that, but I also am fine with it not being shown.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
No, I got you.
one of my notes is it's that this thing is 90 minutes, and I love that. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah. It's
miss a
very
90
short.
minute
Yeah.
movie. Um, but I think it's got some depth to it though.
Oh yeah, of
There's
course.
that great scene between River Phoenix and is it Gordy's the lead? Who's the what's
Gordy.
the
Yeah,
yeah
Gordy is Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton.
where I think River Phoenix tells him like kids lose everything if there isn't someone there to look out for them. Like if your
Yes.
parents are too shit to do it, maybe I should. Like that's
Maybe
like a
I should.
great
Yeah.
sequence and yeah, and I don't know, the kids are just fun and there's some big spectacle in it.
Yeah.
He just has a ton of personality in the way that Rob Reiner's films do. And I love the what is goofy scene where they're all
Yeah.
sitting around like talking
It's a
about
great.
things that kids that are
Yeah.
12 years old would talk about, or
We'll
only
talk
kids
about.
that are
Yeah.
12 years old would talk about. What is goofy even? Like if I could eat,
No,
if I could
definitely
only eat
not.
one food the rest of my life, that's easy. Cherry
Cherry
flavored
flavored
Pez.
Pez.
Also, the leech scene is great. That's like
Oh
legit
yeah.
gnarly. Like, it's like I've never met anybody who fainted before. Is a great line. Just I think it captures that sense of adventure and
Yes. Yes.
it reminds me of something like Sandlot, which I don't think is as good of a movie, but just something that I
Yeah.
grew up
Or
watching.
a dramatic Goonies, if you will.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, the other scene of note that's like just huge in scope is the scene where they're playing chicken, where Kiefer Sutherland's character is playing chicken
Oh
with the
yes.
there's like a
Yes.
log truck on like approaching and like they like throw the vehicle like drives off the
Off
freeway and
road,
like,
yeah.
loses all the logs. I'm like, this is like a pretty impressive action set piece in the middle of
Yes,
this
yes.
thing. With that and the train sequence, I think you have like, and the dog
Yeah,
scene is fun.
yeah, Chopper. It's
You've
like,
got
come
a
on.
couple big scenes to kind of flesh this thing out, or at least have these bigger peaks in the film. And then, yeah, I like that it kind of ends almost on a anticlimactic, note of
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
they just call in the tip. Um, Also, suck my fat one, you cheap
When
dime store hood is a great line. Uh,
I like how River Phoenix is like, suck my fat one.
yeah.
I like
I
that
mean,
one.
it's just there's a lot to like about it, and I'm really glad that they re-released it, and that I kind
Yeah.
of, because I was on the fence about going to see it, but really glad
Well,
I
I'm glad
did.
you did. Yeah, it's a great. I saw it on the big screen when I was younger, and it's
Yeah,
a really great film. You have to see it, like you said, with the train scene. It's an
yeah.
amazing scene.
I mean, like, I don't know how you'd pull that off, like, legitimately.
Yeah, right.
It's a dangerous scene to make, and like the train is actually active, even if it's probably going 5 miles an hour.
An hour. Yeah.
It's probably going pretty slow for that chase sequence, but it looks good. It looks convincing
Oh
enough.
yeah. Yep.
And yeah, I like the way they like flip off the bridge at the end. I'm like, this is actually kind of dangerous. Um, I don't know how much set safety there was back in those
Yeah.
days, but I mean, somebody's been killed in recent years. I'm going blank on her name. I apologize for not knowing that, but there was a crew member that was killed like in a similar type of sequence with a film, a big notoriety. I don't know if the movie ever got made because the company went bankrupt after that happened, but she
Mm,
was killed. She was working on the bridge and they hadn't gotten the permits to work on the bridge.
yeah.
It was the same thing as like a train track, just like that. She was like elevated over water, and yeah, they didn't notify the crew that there was a train on the way and couldn't get them off in time. And there was a
Yeah.
couple injuries, and then somebody died. I forget her
Yeah.
name,
It's
but yeah,
crazy.
just a really sad deal. So
Yeah.
you watch that and you go, man, like, I really hope everybody was safe on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a really impressive sequence in a
Yes.
movie that just, it's just a fun little adventure flick, but it's got some serious action chops. Um, so anyway, that was Stand By Me.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. I don't know. We're gonna do our top five Stephen King films,
Hmm.
um, but that ended up making my list. I think it's not
Yeah.
quite near the top, but which spoilers for my list. I also finished Four Past Midnight, this
The
series of
book.
novellas. Yeah, the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and that's the one that has like the Langoliers
Yes.
and Library Policeman is the third one. Going blank on the second one. Langoliers, missing one.
Yeah.
Oh, the Johnny Secret Window, Secret
Secret.
Window, Secret
Yes.
Garden. Sorry,
Johnny
um,
Depp. Yeah.
Johnny Depp. Yeah, I never really cared for that adaptation.
Yeah. I've never seen. Never
I
seen it.
saw it when it came out and it was not amazing. It's kind of a
Yeah. Yeah.
PG-13 like
Yes.
mediocre thriller, and I don't think the book is great either. I think that character is pretty unlikable, but yeah, so it has
Yeah.
like Langoliers, that Library Policeman's really fun, I think, and then
Yeah.
the
I think
last
it's
one is the
been
Sundog, which is the one about the haunted camera.
Haunted Camera. I think the Library Policeman is the best one of all four. So
I would say, yeah. I mean, I think
yeah.
just the idea of like that vampire like feeding off
Yeah.
of children, it reminds me of it in a lot of
Yes.
ways.
Yeah.
Feeding off children's fear is like a creepy concept in the way that like the town drunk like got like put under her spell, and his whole story of that I thought was really good. Yeah, I like that. I like that one a lot. That's probably Langoliers. I really like the movie. Apparently, is just
Yeah, I was gonna
awful.
say the book is decent, yeah, but the movie, oh my God, you've seen it, right? Or the TV movie?
I've
That,
seen clips from it. It looks just. I was like, I can't believe it looks that
yeah,
bad. Like
that
when
CGI is like I guess when they first created CGI, I don't even know.
I feel like you
That's
just need to
horrible,
like try and do that a different way if you're gonna try and
right?
pull that off. I mean,
Like
it's hard to
whoever
show
owns
the
the
world being
rights, yeah,
eaten, but there's I feel like you could make that now and make that really well though. I think that
yeah.
could
Oh
be
yeah, agreed.
a really exciting kind of sci-fi horror film because it's violent and very dark. I really like
Yeah,
that. But yeah, that was that, and that's like a 750 page
yeah,
collection.
yeah.
So I've been working on it most of the year, but yeah, I finished that, and now I'm working through. I'm almost done with Two Towers, so I've been
Oh,
blowing through books this year.
oh wait, so two. Towers, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
well,
okay.
I finished
I
Fellowship already.
Yeah, Dark Tower was in my head since you were talking Stephen King. I wasn't sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah. This is just what I'm reading right now.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
my
No, I
notes.
got you. I got
Yeah, yeah. I finished the Stephen King one, and then yeah, I've been working through the audiobook of Fellowship, and
you.
then I
Okay.
threw Project Hail Mary in there in the mix. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
back to Lord of the Rings though, which is great. Also, Jesus, like what an amazing book. But anyway, back to
Yeah.
Stephen King. Let's do
Stephen
your
King.
top five. So let's
Oh,
start
we're
from the
going.
bottom.
Okay,
Start
what's
from
your next?
number five going up. So
Okay.
go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah, yeah. So I have the Dead Zone as number
Oh,
five.
I totally forgot about that one. That one might have made my list. If I should have
Yeah.
looked up the actual. I just like picked based on what I thought of. It was not the best strategy.
I went on IMDb, got the list, and then it went chronologically too, which I thought was cool.
That's
So
helpful.
yeah, right. So I just went through it, and I remember, and the book is amazing too. The book is it's
That's what I've
almost the
heard.
same. And
Cronenberg.
Chris, yes, Cronenberg did it. Christopher Walken, amazing actor,
I
and
think it's his
almost
best lead performance, probably.
interesting, good. I would say that.
Not his best, not my favorite character, but
Character,
his
yes,
best like leading man role.
performance,
Um,
and Martin Sheen is amazing as the president to be, and it's just such a good horror and then political thriller as well.
sure,
Throw that
yeah,
in, I thought that was really good that he did that. Um, and yeah, I just love the what was it? It's like three or four good stories, but the one with the cop killer, spoilers for a movie from another 40 years ago.
yeah. I don't feel
Uh,
bad.
yeah, the sheriff. I That was like such a good movie, and it's so dark, and it's.
It
But yeah,
ends on like a really tragic note.
yes,
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
it's not like a. It's also like just set in like a midwestern. I forget
yeah. Like,
where, but it just feels like an ordinary town,
isn't it
and
Maine?
it's
I think all
cold.
his stories
Yeah,
take
yeah,
place in Maine.
probably, yeah, yeah, in Castle Rock.
Castle Rock, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know where it's actually set, but the film is shot in like just like an everyday suburb and looks
yeah.
like it at least. And I just remember it being like a really cold experience. I get some of the location though mixed with the Brood. They kind of
Interesting.
remind. They're very similar, like
Yeah,
geographically, and at least just set in like normal towns.
I'm assuming he shot it in Canada. I mean, being Canadian and being one of
Mm,
his earlier, bigger films, Cronenberg.
that makes sense.
Uh, but yeah, but I mean, I love it. I love, like I said, with the ending, with the whole, even though he dies, he ends up winning because of what Martin Sheen's character does, ends his evil career. So I thought that was really good. So.
Yeah, no, I mean it's relevant, unfortunately. Speaking of political relevance, we just watched. I think. Well, never mind. I haven't. I know you haven't seen it. I forgot I texted you about it. But Andor season two,
Yeah, I
episode
know.
eight is just
Yeah,
spectacular
I told
stuff.
Rhonda, I said, listen, Jeremy says
Whew.
it's amazing. We got to jump in now. But
It takes about 4 episodes to really kind of lock in and set up
yeah,
everything that it's doing. But I mean, God, it is just. It's the best. And I said this about season one, but I think it's, if anything, it's just expanded what it was doing with season one in
yeah,
really interesting ways. But this is just like, I mean, it's the best Star Wars thing. I don't think there's anything better. There's certainly no Star Wars show or movie that I think is written as well, and
yeah,
just as nuanced and and again, just very. I think it's like, if anything, I think it's like a pretty important piece of television, just purely off of like the ideas that it's exploring and the relevance to modern day events and clear
yeah,
parallels, not only here but elsewhere as well.
yeah,
But like to like a built-in mainstream audience of the Star Wars franchise. I think that's like a important thing in
yeah, yeah,
2026. But also just masterful piece of television. Anyway, not to
yeah,
go on a
yeah.
total tangent about Andor, but
No,
I
no,
just
no. I'm
saw it
glad
last
you
night and I
did.
was like,
Yeah,
oh, this thing floored me. I was like, this is
yeah. It's
amazing.
like, I know it's
Yeah.
eating inside you to come out. Your review of Andor too.
We'll have
But
to do like a breakdown once you see it,
yeah,
of just the
definitely.
whole series, and because
Yeah.
there's just like there's so much to talk about that show. It's just really great. Anyway, back to Stephen King. Um, that was your number five,
My
which
five. Yeah.
probably would have been my pick for five at least. I actually saw that before I had seen all the Cronenbergs, like before I like had gone through the Cronenberg catalog. I
Yeah.
saw that because my dad was a huge fan of the book or
Oh yeah,
something.
it's a great
Yeah,
book.
you should
It's a great
go
book.
watch that. And Yeah, so I didn't know who Cronenberg was at the time. I don't think. I think I watched that, and
Were you
I
like
knew
8 years
King.
old, 10 years old?
Yeah, it
How
was young. It was definitely young,
yeah.
and it's a pretty tame overall as far as like the
Oh yeah,
violence in
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but anyway, mine's Doctor Sleep, which
Hmm. Interesting.
I think is a at least the director's cut. I haven't seen the theatrical cut. I hear it's not as good.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
the
that's what I heard. Yeah,
have you seen the director's cut of it?
I have not. Where you
Oh,
is that a is that like something you would have to purchase, or is it online? Like,
well, I think I have it on my Plex. So if you want to watch it,
oh,
kitty on the
sorry
loose.
guys, my cat jumped on the computer.
Made a guest appearance. But
um, so you're saying you have the director's cut on Plex? Okay.
I'm pretty sure let me look. I'll pull it up real quick. But yeah, there's a 2.5 hour theatrical version, and
Yeah.
then a 3+ hour director's
Oh,
cut where they added. They just flesh out a ton of stuff. Have you read the book or anything?
I have it in my room. It's sitting there, and I'm like, I gotta see, but I have not read it yet. No.
Let's see. Do I have it here? I do not.
Hmm.
I guess I don't. My friend has it. That's maybe why I didn't add it.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway, it's maybe I can add that though. It's worth. I think if you do like a double feature with The Shining and then watch that, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the book is really good. And we listened to it on a road trip, at least like 10 hours of it. I don't think we actually finished the book, but then I went and watched the movie, and I think it's just a really good combination of what the book does well and what and being a good sequel to The Shining.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's like it does the thing where it like can work for both fans of the novel and for movie lovers as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's by what's his name who did
Flanagan.
Mike
Mike
Flanagan. Yeah, I
Flanagan.
can't think of names today. It's not my strength. But yeah, really solid, and it's kind of ugly. That'd be my only complaint until the later portions of it. The way Mike Flanagan stuff is kind of flat
Yeah.
and boring
Yeah.
to look at, but a lot of good ideas in it though. And again, I think it blends the two. The source material and because again like if you were to do a sequel to the book of The Shining, that looks very different from a sequel to the movie, obviously
Yeah.
because those two things are so drastically different. And I think this somehow finds a way to achieve both of those things,
Mm.
being faithful to the source material but still being faithful to the movie that people prefer.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think. Anyway, Doctor Sleep, worth checking out, and then Stand by Me is my fourth one, so we can just skip over that. But you
Oh.
haven't done your fourth. This is gonna take us an
Yep.
hour just getting through.
No. No. No.
It's
No.
like,
I put The Mist as my number four.
oh, The Mist is cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And wait,
Better.
I always get the Fog and the Mist confused. The Mist is there's two of the Mist, right? There's like the one from the Carpenter one, right?
There's John Carpenter's The Fog.
The Fog, okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
and Stephen King's book is The Mist. Yeah.
And then
And so,
didn't the Mist they made in like 2008, right? The
yeah.
Punisher guy.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jane. Thomas Jane plays
Yeah.
the lead.
And that one's got
Um.
the iconic ending or the
Oh yeah,
controversial
and
ending.
I think that's why. Yeah, that's why I love it. I mean, the book is just, it's funny because the book's a short story. It's like maybe
Oh,
100,
okay.
120 pages.
Hmm.
And then this film is like 2 hours and change, and the director's cut's like longer. But because of that ending, I love 70 film, and it's just such a tragic,
Yeah,
horrible ending. And but other than that, I also, it's exciting, the
sure.
stuff in the, with the when they go to try to get help, and they go to the pharmacy, those spiders, it's scary, and there's jump
It's kind
scares.
of Lovecraftian to me.
Yes. Oh, and that's the point. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
know he said, Stephen King said that it was his Lovecraftian
Okay, that makes sense.
kind of
Yeah.
done to it, but I mean, yeah, I love that film. It's great acting too. All the actors in it are good. It's a lot of the Walking Dead season 1 and 2 actors are in it. But yeah, I mean, Thomas Jane's amazing, and it's just a good, sci-fi thriller. So yeah.
Was that a remake though, or no? Or am I just confusing it with The Fog? Like that Thomas Jane, The Mist.
No, it's The Fog, which is a good little Irish
I know
ditty,
those are
and then
not
you
the
have
same things.
yeah,
I
no,
know
no.
that.
I think you're mixing up because it's a fog and then it's a
Yeah, I know they're very similar, and I feel like the Are they both shot in like Seatown, like Seattle
Yes.
type,
See,
yeah,
yes,
locations? Yeah,
yes,
that's also a
yes.
confusing part of it. I recently I played this fantastic video game, which I would recommend to almost anyone. It's just
Which one?
it's called Dredge, which is also like a Lovecraftian. You play you're an owner operator of a little like tugboat that fishing boat that like you drive around the sea and fish, and then you basically like sell the fish and turn it into like upgrades for your boat and like different things like that. And there's like quest
Okay.
lines, but it's all very Lovecraftian. And at like 6 p.m. when the
Oh,
sun starts to go down, the fog rolls in and creepy shit starts going on. And it's legitimately horrifying, but also kind of cozy. It's just I mean, it's like a 40
and
hour game, but
is the point that you have to work within this fog, or
that's just like the gameplay loop. So like
okay, okay.
you go out
Like,
and you
can you get
fish and
away? Like, can you make it back in time, or is that like
so
one of
sometimes you
the?
don't. You get caught out in the
Oh,
fog,
okay,
and
okay.
that's
Yeah,
part of the horror of it. I mean,
yeah. I like that. I like that.
it's very rare that a game will make me go ah, like like fucking make me like yelp and scream, and that one was one of them. Yeah, there's something. I mean, I got a big fear of deep water, though. To be fair,
Oh yes. Who doesn't? Thanks, Steven
ah,
Spielberg.
that's yeah. That's fair, but yeah, I this game in particular, one of the reasons that I didn't play it for the longest time was because of that. I was
Hmm.
like, I don't think I can handle this one, and
And you said it's
it's
called Dredge.
Dredge, yeah, and
And is it a platform game, or is it a PC,
it's
or?
on everything, yeah. So I
Oh,
think
okay,
I played
okay.
it on Xbox, but they have it on Switch and they have it on PC and everything as well.
I'll tell
But
JC to get it then. That's
it's a
cool.
cheap game too. It's like an indie. It's like a $10 indie game. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like for the
yeah.
money, I think I got 40, 50 hours out of it with the DLC and
Nice.
stuff.
Okay.
But it's yeah, just a fun concept, and all the quests are like related to. They're all kind of Lovecraftian in
Yeah,
nature, and
yeah.
yeah, it's just a really cool. But anyway, the those movies remind me of that, and that's number four. So we're
Or
barely working our
I know,
way
right?
through the list.
It's your
Um,
fault.
I mean,
Um.
my three is The Shining.
mm, okay.
That might be number one. I don't know.
I was gonna
The order of
say.
these is that's probably number one. But yeah, I mean, I like the other two a lot though too. They're not. This is a loose order.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all things I like, but The
Well, we
Shining's
could
great.
talk. We could talk about The Shining. I mean, that's my number one. But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it could be. Let's just put it as my number one too. I don't know. It
Okay.
doesn't matter. I'm looking at these other two, going like, it's probably. I think when I started making this list, I just like put them down and then was
Yeah,
like, then
yeah.
didn't put much thought into the order. But we'll get to the other two. But yeah, Shining's great. I mean, Kubrick's great.
It's a great
Yeah,
film.
you've
Yeah,
heard. We just talked about Doctor Sleep. It's it's the
and it
masterpiece.
and it's and I know King hates it, but it's 10 times better than
He's
his book.
dumb. King has bad taste in
Yeah, I
movies.
was gonna say because
I'll be
it's
the
ten
first one to
times
say
better.
it. No.
That book. I mean, I remember when I was probably my late teens, early 20s when I read The Shining, and I was just like, yeah, because I didn't know, the big controversy. And then I was like, what? I was like, the movie's better than this dumbass ending book. But yeah, the
Well, and like
TV.
he prefers the TV version, which is one of the worst
And I
things
was
in
about to
those
say,
things.
which is horrible. I see. Oh my god.
Stephen King
Uh,
has bad taste. Anytime Stephen King's like, "Oh, it's the scariest movie of the year," you're like, take it with a grain of salt. He doesn't watch movies apparently. He did
um,
like that. I think that was like he was on the poster for what's that like morgue horror film with the dead body, Jane Doe, Autopsy of Jane
all
Doe.
top say Jane Doe.
That was
Yes,
one where
yes.
they're like, Stephen King says this is the scariest movie of
Scariest movie
of
of
the
all
year.
time.
That movie's actually really creepy though.
It is. It's that's what I say. It's not genius, but
One
it's
of the
creepy
few
as hell.
that he was right on.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, The Shining's great. I mean, it's a
yeah,
masterpiece.
it is.
Um, the other adaptations, Stephen King adaptations. Oh wait, you need to do your number
Number
four.
three.
I've lost track. Okay,
No, no, we're at three. I mean, so my number three is Misery.
okay, that's mine. That was the first on my list, but I guess you could put it in any order.
We switch it. Let's switch it.
Yeah, let's flip flop it. That's three now. Uh, that movie
That's
holds
my
up
three.
though. I
Oh
showed
yeah,
Marissa it recently, and
yeah.
she really liked it.
They
And
picked a perfect team of Kathy Bates and
yeah,
James Caan is amazing,
it's
man.
an amazing performance from him.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
and it builds tension so well, and
Yes,
it does a great
yes,
job of trapping him in the house
yes.
with like practical reasons as opposed to I mean he's like he's injured, and so that's
Yeah.
part of it, and there's that whole part of him like kind of figuring out that something is off,
Off.
which is a fun, and you're kind of ahead of it, but I think
Yeah.
the character is still kind of cautiously optimistic for the first chunk, and then the fucking club scene is just like one of the great. I'll never forget that scene.
Yes, I know.
I hadn't seen it in like 15 years until I showed Marissa, and
Interesting. Oh, okay.
that
What's
scene's
she
been
think?
stuck in my head. She really liked it a
Oh
lot.
yeah, Rhonda too. Rhonda loves Misery. Yeah.
But it's very modern and like fun,
Yeah.
and I mean I don't know, and then it builds up to a big finish. But that scene in particular, where she hobbles him, is like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
and
It's like
all you have is that 1 second where you see the leg go,
the yeah, man. Oh my
and then they
God.
cut away immediately. And
Yeah, like it's perfect editing. Yeah, it's like
it's really
and then,
good.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
directed that? It's
Rob Reiner.
did Rob Ryan? Oh my God, dude, what a master!
Yeah, that's what I'm
Rob Reiner,
saying.
man.
He did a lot of King's
I forgot that
adaptations.
he did that.
Yeah,
But
Rob
that's like
Reiner
it's like
did.
he's done so many great things that you forget.
Yeah,
God, Misery
yeah.
is so great. Yeah.
Such a good movie.
That could be my number one too, though. That movie's great.
No, I understand how you could. At first I was thinking about making that number one, and then I was like, you know what? I just love The Shining better. With all its twists and turns, and it's really
The visuals, I think,
atmosphere.
are
Yeah, the
yeah.
visuals are amazing, but because Misery is very claustrophobic, you're stuck in one room
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
80% of the film. The other stuff is incidental. But yeah, that was my number three. So what's your number two?
Shawshank is my number two.
All right, we're done.
Yeah. No. Yeah, they're the
Now,
same list. I figured there'd be some overlap here. Okay, let's Shawshank's great. We all know it's
it's an
great.
amazing film.
Let's move
Yeah.
on. Do you have a worst Stephen King? I put 2 on the list.
You should
Another
have told
notable.
me.
Well, before
I could name them, but you should have told me that.
no, it's all good. I just
Lawnmower Man.
okay. Is that like a TV movie or is it just
No, I
really
didn't, because I would have put it number one, but I said no.
the
that's
original
cheating.
It?
Yeah, the original TV version. But
Yeah.
Lawnmower Man was released in theaters in I think 91 or 92. Jeff Fahey was the Bubba, I don't want to say special needs person, you could say. And it's just, oh my God. And the CGI in that one was horrible as well. Talk about the Langoliers. Langoliers came out a few years after. And it's just, you got put it down because I know you love cheesy films. And it's just like really bad. It's like the CGI kind of takes over the film once
Sure.
we go. But it's like if you read the short story, it's nothing like the freaking stupid ass movie. It's like it gets me so angry. But yeah, Lawnmower Man is horrible. What's one of yours?
Well, so this one, it's worth talking about the classic film that this was the remake of, but the Carrie remake, the TV remake of Carrie, is one of the worst things I've ever
So you're
seen.
using TV movies? Oh, okay, I didn't.
Well,
Go ahead.
it was just one that it's just a notable movie that, and I guess the story behind it, I think, is notable for me. Is I think I had heard about Carrie, as you do as a horror fan growing up as a kid that likes horror movies, and I was like, I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna watch Carrie today. I haven't seen it, and I accidentally watched that version instead. And the whole time I was like, what the fuck is this? I think it's got Julianne Moore. I think.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
No. Wait. No.
Disney's
You're
Basic is in the original, and then
the original, and Julianne Moore is in the sequel with
oh, okay.
Chloe Moretz Grace.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
not
know.
a TV movie, but yeah,
Yeah, maybe I
that is horrible.
Oh God, yeah. But I just put on whatever if it was that, there is a TV version also, right?
Yes, there is, and there's also a sequel called Carry the Rage. So
Yeah,
the
I haven't
movie,
seen
the
that.
TV movie was in 2002, 2003. Horrible, but they followed the book closely with the whole trial because that's the thing about the book. I do love the book, but the whole book takes place in the courtroom, and then as
Oh.
the witnesses and defendant, then you get the background story.
And so it's like a justification of, like, to some degree, it's a like a legal justification of her actions. Does she end up being found guilty or no in the book?
Well, not Carrie. It's
Okay.
It's Amy's character. Amy. Oh my God, what's your friend's name? The girl who's like really does care about her, but is following the crowd. Oh my God, how can I forget?
Because isn't she the one?
Amy
that, like,
Irving.
she's the
Amy
one that
Irving.
like basically pours the bucket on her, right? And
No, she's the one who
it's
gets
been a
out
long
in
time since
time.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's the one who gets out just in time as the doors slam behind her.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I caught the original like very recently, actually, because I watched that remake of it. It was like, this is or the sequel or
Horrible.
whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember what it was that I watched, but it was terrible.
Yeah, the one with Julianne Moore is, I don't even know why they did that. That came out in 2013. Horrible film. But Carrie, the original Carrie, the one his first adaptation in '77 or so.
Mhm.
That's
It's
amazing. I love
great.
that film. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
do.
holds up. I
Yeah, it
watched that
does.
in 2020. It was during COVID. I remember
Oh,
I caught
okay.
that. I
Yeah.
remember where I was, and it was at the old rent house. Yeah, they that movie's great, but yeah, the one I watched was not. Anyway, the other one is Christine. That movie sucks. Christine sucks. It's so
John
boring.
Carpenter. Everyone loves John
God,
Carpenter in that
I
movie.
love John Carpenter too.
I
That
don't
is
like
not
it. Yeah, I love John
that's
Carpenter.
not
I didn't
good.
like it. Yeah, it's
It's
not.
so boring. It's
It
like just
is,
the
and
most
it's like I don't
boring
know
movie.
how he, like that's like I never like for a while I didn't know who directed it until like maybe in the past 20 years where I'm like, wait, that's fucking John Carpenter. But
Sometimes we forget that John Carpenter was also terrible sometimes.
because the movie before that was The Thing, and the movie
Yeah,
after that is Big Trouble in Little China, which is
yeah,
cheesy good fun. But I mean, yeah, the Christine is boring, like you said. Oh my god, it's boring. I
yeah.
mean,
I think I turned it off halfway through. I was like, this is just it's not even it's like barely a movie. It's how boring it is. Anyway, yeah, that's those are my two notable worst Stephen King remakes. I'm sure there's others, but I clearly didn't look at a list before I prepared for this podcast. I mean, to be fair though, we had to watch a 3 hour movie to prepare for this week's discussion. So we had some homework,
yeah, yeah, we did.
which brings us to Resurrection. This Chinese film from acclaimed director. I did not put my cast and crew
Junie
notes here.
Ho. Yeah, I forgot. Junie Ho.
But yeah.
Junie.
Anyway, why don't you go ahead and introduce this one?
I,
Good luck.
I gotta say.
From
So
director
it's funny.
Bigan is his name.
Biga. Okay, yeah, yeah. I know why GU I think is the main.
He
Well,
did a
not
movie called Long Day's Journey into Night, which is apparently like a
the
really highly
adaptation of the
acclaimed.
book.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Well,
This was the only reason I found out about this. Shout out to my friend Hunter, high school
mhm.
friend Hunter. His dad was my football coach in high school. Hunter Lanier. He's also a Rotten Tomatoes critic based here in Houston, and he runs a YouTube channel where he does just really thoughtful, in-depth reviews of things called Feature Underground. You should check him out.
Oh,
This was on his top 10 list, and he was like, this is like a movie you gotta see. You might not like it, but you gotta see it. It's just, it's
oh,
certainly
okay.
something.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you said that because I was going to say he works for Rotten Tomatoes, but
No, well,
um,
he's a certified critic, so he
certified
actually
critic. Yeah.
he actually can get screeners, and he goes to a lot of the stuff like downtown in Joel
Lucky him. I
Osteen's
like that.
part of the world.
Yeah,
The Greenway Plaza Regal is where they do all
yeah,
the
yeah,
like theatrical previews here in Houston. But yeah, he goes to a lot of those, and so he gets to see stuff sometimes sooner than we do.
yeah, yeah. That's cool.
And
Well,
just a really educated person on all
no,
things
that's
movies.
good.
But
I know you mentioned Hunter a couple of times before. I don't think I've ever met him though, right?
yeah, I've known him for
Yeah,
like
yeah,
20 years now or something. So,
yeah. But
but
I guess to introduce the film, or I mean, I could go by the little synopsis on Plex because that made more sense than the beginning of the film because I don't think that comes across.
I completely agree. Yes.
Yeah, it's like
By the end of it, I was like, okay, I see. Anyway, we can get more to that, but yeah,
yeah,
I agree. Like, I don't think it's very clear what the frame story is.
yes, correct. And so basically, yeah, it's about someone. It says in the thing it's science fiction and they're dreaming and they have to, but it's like you really don't get that. You just see the dreams and the narration tells you that this is the same person dreaming all six dreams. But that I never because, and then at one point I thought, oh, maybe the actor is the same actor. They just keep changing him, but that's not
Sure,
it either.
I thought that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and but I will say this: that the films degrade as the stories degrade as it goes along. Like you said, the first film is so amazingly beautiful,
Mhm.
and it's so film school 101,
Yeah.
pre-code, and it has and even Rhonda was sitting there, and Rhonda was like talking. Rhonda, I mean, just so you know, Rhonda loves you as a person, but she hates you as a film person. And she's like, why does he pick all these horrible films to watch? But as she started watching it, she goes, oh, okay, I got nothing to do, so I'll watch it. She was like loving things and then like calling things out to me that I didn't even catch at first. And she was so into it. And then like, that first film is just so beautiful colors, the cinematography, like the
Oh,
whole,
it's
how the
all
old,
the way through. I think is like
yeah.
spectacular
Oh,
stuff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with this one, cinema.
It's
Sorry.
just it's so classic because it's, I mean,
Yeah,
like, to
it's
give more
amazing. Yeah,
context to the premise of it, it's, it's a series of vignettes, essentially
vignettes,
short stories. In they're all told chronologically through the progression of cinema. That's
cinema
one
time. Yeah,
piece, and then the other piece is that each one of them represents a particular sense.
so,
So, like,
yeah.
the first one is sight, because,
Site.
like, that's the how movies began, was
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a
of course.
visual. And then the second one is sound. It's like kind of a
Sound.
noir. The
Noir.
third
Yeah.
one, I think, is taste. I don't know what era that represents, but we can get more to that, like, the each individual chapters. The fourth one
Yeah.
is smell. I'm going blank. Smell, yeah, because it's the blind one with the kid, which I
With the
like that one a
kid.
lot.
I do.
Um,
Yeah, I did. I wasn't okay. So yeah.
we
All
we can
right.
we can talk about the details, and then the last one is touch, which is just like physical touch,
Okay, I
and
guess
also like just the modern. But they progress in terms of the filmmaking approach, and like
approach.
the
Yeah, and I.
the fifth one has like these, like, it's all done in like a oneer basically, or at least kind of
Yeah.
disguised that way. And but yeah, anyway, it's kind of progress. These I don't think that especially the middle chunk of the film, I don't think the
Yes.
visual and tonal style of
Yes.
them
Yes.
necessarily ties directly into a particular chapter of cinema.
Agreed.
In my
Agreed.
opinion, I mean, I think
Agreed.
there's things I like about all of these stories,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
um,
The third story is the weakest for me, but other than
that was
that,
actually the one that kind of caught my attention. But
interesting.
it just because of like I have more questions about this movie than I do answers, to be clear, and I think that's part of this experience. I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I can give you that. Yeah.
it's very much it's a great example of show first, tell later storytelling. Very visually developed characters, and even just like, it's like, why are we here? What are we doing here? And you don't
Yes.
know, and you feel kind of like, just at a loss for like
Yes.
sometimes
Yes.
half of the vignette. You're like, I like
That's
the
how I
third
felt with
one.
number three. Yeah.
Yeah, the
But
third one, I'm
yeah.
like, are we in a prison? Like, what is? I don't even
Yeah.
understand like where we are in
They're
the world.
Buddhist monks who stopped being Buddhist monks, and now they're like taking down their old. Um, I don't know what they call the monks' temple or where they
Oh, I
come
was
from,
thinking of
but
the fourth one. Sorry, the prison
oh
thing. The
wait,
prison comment was about the fourth one, but yeah, the third one, it's like they're monks that are like going back to find the relics in like
yes,
a
yes,
temple. Yeah, just like for, I don't know what for. Maybe they're selling these things, or they're just, yeah. It's like, it's very ambiguous in terms of why we're here, and
yeah,
I think that one's probably the most ambiguous as far as the
yes,
narrative goes.
yes,
I mean, he has this tooth that's aching him, and like this voice starts speaking to him, and then he cracks it with a rock, which is really gnarly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, we're kind of jumping all over the place, but yeah,
I mean,
that's
yeah,
the essential frame of this concept, this film, is just that it's a collection of stories that each represent a sense and progress us through
progressive time.
time.
So
In
I
terms
mean,
of,
yeah. So if the first one is that, pre-code, pre-sound,
it's
whatnot.
like the Charlie Chaplin era silent
Yes,
film.
correct.
It's
Silent
shot
films.
in like 12 frames per second, so it's like
Okay,
stuttery in
yeah,
the
that's
way
true.
that
Yeah.
old silent films were. And there's even, I love that shot where she like climbs through like what looks
Oh my
like,
God.
I don't know if you've
That
ever
is,
seen the clip of that describes persistence of vision with the horse. From
yes.
like when you're in film school, or what, like
Yeah.
it's like the frames in the photo, and it kind of
Yes.
represents how motion is captured on screen. And like
Yeah.
there's a sequence where she like climbs through that, basically, like it's like the
That's
set
cool. Yeah.
it's really amazing. And
It
then
is amazing.
there's like the Nosferatu
Yeah.
arm coming through.
The cabinet of Dr.
Is that
Caligari
what it is?
is
Okay. Oh, that's
yes,
the
and
the skeletons section,
yes, and
right?
then Nosferatu definitely, with the
With the hand,
creature.
it's just the hand
Yeah.
that comes through.
Yeah.
There's
The
that
whole
shadow on the
German
wall.
expressionism. Yeah, German expressionism.
Okay, so but you were saying, because there were some things that I'm like, I haven't seen some of these like movies from the 20s.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like, what we do well together is that
Mhm,
Jeremy's up on the most recent films, and I have the memories of, because talk about film school. That's what we did in film
sure.
school. We did one whole class on the silence
Mhm.
and a semester, and there was German expressionism. There was Captain Dr. Caligari. Of course, it was Nosferatu. There's also Un Chien Andalou, the French film, which showed you, but also, not to jump ahead, but because he did it, it's almost Citizen Kane, where Orson Welles used every form of
Of
film
technique.
technique
Yeah.
in the film itself, and this film does that as well. It uses almost every form of film technique. Like you see when she walks, but after she discovers the creature, and she walks through that set piece through things, and then the camera goes in front, and it's just a hole. You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean? Like
there
like a
is like
window
this
or a mirror.
motif of which I
Yeah.
have in my notes to talk about is like the what is the broader importance of this like circle motif other than
Yes.
just
Yes.
the
Yes.
film is called Resurrection. Maybe it's just talking about the cyclical nature of art and film in particular because it's very much a movie about film. So I think
Yes.
a
It
lot of
is.
what
It
it's
is a
trying to
lot.
say, other than the individual narratives, I think is just talking about the like how films are just like films will always be resurrected in the
Resurrected.
minds of
Yeah.
those that watch them. Just yeah, just a loose. That's at least my interpretation. But
Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
see that like circular motif a lot in it, which may be just representing the aperture of a lens. I don't know.
That would be interesting for that.
Yeah,
But then if you go there, right? You go, okay, we're doing silence.
hmm
The next step, obviously talkies, but film noir came after musicals, and I even thought
sure,
the next one would be a musical of some sort. So and
interesting.
it doesn't follow that rule of law that it starts with,
I
but
mean, I
it
will
go,
say I know for a fact that what I just described is what the film is.
oh no, yeah, yeah, you
I
did, you did.
cannot say I cannot support the argument for that's part of this discussion is like me
Yes,
going
of course.
because I think one thing that's worth noting too is it is a Chinese film, and when in terms of
Yes.
film progression in China, I don't have the knowledge of like the techniques that were used over the course of 100 years of cinema
Yeah,
and how they
yeah.
progressed over there. I don't know if it's different than in America. I just don't know.
Well,
Um,
that's interesting because during, yeah, because I mean, not sure if they got into the game late. I got to look into like how many
I just
Chinese
don't.
films
Yeah, I just don't
started in the
know.
20s, but I
Sure,
mean, their noir is so important to them.
sure,
They were influenced by the new wave, so a lot of their noir is also very artistic, like the French films. But I do understand that why it was present, but I
sure.
just felt like so I said I accept it. We are moving on from this mission, but it's fine. I did enjoy the noir one as well.
I thought it was more representing like 90s cinema, if anything. Like it reminds me more of like Seven or stuff that you'd
Hmm,
see in, I mean, it's really violent and
yeah,
surreal. And I mean, maybe 80s. Like it also reminds me a lot of Cure in particular, which I showed you.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I mean, and I
um,
did get that sense, but again, if we're following what
yeah,
the mission
that's the
statement is,
point is like, yeah,
we're
it's
going
not,
into
yeah.
noir, and
The
yes, it
90s
was,
one is the
yeah,
final chapter by,
yes, which is weird because but no, no, I will say that because they were on the bandwagon of superhero, sci-fi, like the whole pop culture. So to have a film about vampires at the end, wasn't bad. I mean, I accepted it. There was no, um, trying to think like, I would say, and maybe they didn't do it because they don't feel that represents cinema, but like the whole Chinese gangster film, which
well,
is was big
that's
in the
there
'90s.
in that final chapter.
Well,
But
so
that's
so then okay, I'll accept that then because yeah, the boss was the vampire
and there's
king.
this talk of like the Y2K end of the
Yeah, okay,
world.
end
There's
of the
that
world.
whole like
Yeah, yeah.
apocalyptic. There's this
Okay,
apocalyptic sense to the whole
all right.
thing, and
Yes, I'll
but
accept
then
that.
there's then after the mob section when there's the reveal that they are vampires. There's
Yeah,
this amazing sequence which I don't understand, but with the time lapse where they like it's there. It's just a. I think it's like it's one of those things with this. This movie is like a
you mean
strange thing to talk
outside where you
about.
see the people hanging out
Yes, yeah,
watching
and
a
they set
movie?
up
Yeah,
the
yeah.
theater, and then there's
Yes,
like
yes,
and
yes,
it's almost it's like a bookend to the beginning of the film where the theater
yes,
is like torn
yes.
apart and
All right.
ruined
Yeah,
by military. People come in and like kick everybody out of the theater. This is
yeah,
almost like the opposite of that. It's like people coming together to watch the thing. It's just
yeah,
a
yeah.
strange. I have not figured out half the details in this thing, and I think there was a moment in I think the third film. I watched this twice. I did not, or not the film, but I watched it in two chunks. I watched the first
Okay. Yeah, yeah. You
three
told me.
basically, and then came back and kind of rewatched the third one all the way back through to the end. I kind of wish I had watched all of them last night. This was something that I think I enjoyed a lot more at night too. Like
I
I
sort
watched the
of, I sort
first
of
three
related
in the
to it.
middle of the day, and I kind of wish I had just had like a more isolated experience, and because I enjoyed the last three a lot more when I watched it at night. But anyway, the
Yeah,
point being though is there's just a point where I had to kind of just let the thing wash over me. Like there's a point where I'm like, I can't figure out all the details of this. It's not structured in a way that you're
yeah,
supposed to conceptualize it as you're going. You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
definitely like a because even the vampire thing, I think the dreamer to some degree is being resurrected, and there's this idea that they've been around for a long time, and
Time,
that
yeah,
they're like, I don't understand the frame story of like the monster and the yet it all, but I think it all ties into that component,
yeah,
and
yeah, because yeah, we go
it's
back to
almost
the
like the
beginning.
dreamer is being revealed as a vampire at the end. You know, I don't know if that's the case.
That kind of makes sense, yeah, that they can
All
live
that to
throughout.
say that
Yeah.
there's just these moments of just pure cinematic beauty in it that are
Yes.
just where I was like, I don't know what's happening at all. I'm completely checked out emotionally from this, but there's just sequences that just blew me away in this thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like the
Agreed.
whole final chapter where they like start out on the boat on the docks and there's a guy hanging up and you see like her shadow cast on the wall,
Yeah, that was
and then we
cool.
like follow them up this, and then I'm like, oh, we've been sitting here for 5 minutes, and then we go up the stairs,
There's
and then we go around through the alleyway, and then like he pulls out the gun and they have that whole scene there, and like just
yes,
and then the like dreamer shows up at one point, which I think is the vampire, actually, not the
vampire.
dream.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't understand what's happening. It's hard to even talk about this film because I still don't really know. But then there's the sequence in the rain where he's got the bucket over his
Bucket
head, and
O's.
you're just like, this is so impressive, like
Yeah,
visually,
I dug that. I dug it was
but I
funny,
have
and it
no
was like,
idea what's
yeah,
going on. Yeah, like, but then the scene with the vampires and like then him getting beat up by all the
yeah, yeah.
gang
The
stuff,
gang.
violence, and that reminds me of like Ichi the Killer, you know,
Itchy.
like it
Yes,
reminds me a lot of
yes,
that.
yes.
And then yeah, and then I love the where he shoots the gun and it like ricochets off the vampire, like, and he's like
Yeah.
doing karaoke. I'm like, this is insane. I like really love this. Uh, so I just think there was a point where I was like, I trust that the movie knows what it's doing, and I don't think this will work for people that need to know
Oh,
what's happening. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
it's more of
mean,
an experience.
agreed. And again, like we talked about last week, it's a movie for us, film lovers,
Sure,
people who
a movie
understand
about
film,
film for
about
film
film
people.
for film lover. Yeah. Like I said, even though I was impressed that Rhonda lasted three of the stories, she like backed out of three, and that was it. She never came back for the others. But I
I think the
mean,
fourth one is probably one of the more accessible narratives. That was where I was like, oh, okay, we're finally kind of. I mean, I guess the second one has like a more traditional kind of detective narrative, but it's
the
still
tech
very
noir, yeah.
surreal and
Very, very.
strange in its construction. And there's always kind of a supernatural component to all these too.
Yes, yes, yes.
But yeah, I think the fourth one for me, like the whole like him trying to like teach the kid how to like I
I
liked all
love that
that
one.
stuff a
They
lot. Yeah,
remind
the
me of
kid's
Paper
very good at it.
Moon. It was good, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought there's like actually I felt some narrative tension in that
Yeah.
film where
Yes.
he's like trying to convince the old man of what the cards are, and
Yes.
you know that he burns it. Like I like that whole sequence by the pool,
By
also
the
very
pool, yeah.
visually impressive.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the one that like the first one that really worked for me, other than just the visual. I think the
Yeah.
visuals in all of them are just
Oh yeah.
unbelievably
Yeah, they're amazing.
well
I'll say that.
executed. Um,
Very, yeah, very film school 101, definitely. And I like that a lot about it, you know.
But yeah, like but when you come to like the details of it and the frame story, like I don't know what the wax figures are about.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I thought maybe passage of time because they
Maybe
melt at every end of the stories, and I was like, maybe. But again,
this has got to be the worst discussion to listen to because we're all just sitting here going,
no,
I
no,
really.
no,
But I
no, no,
also didn't want
because
to just look up like one of those like I wanted to talk about it and
I'm
feel
glad. I'm
lost
glad
and
because
work through
yes,
some of the details.
I think everybody listening or watching is going to be like, this movie made them. They're like lost they're speechless, and I'm like, but I'm defending us talking shit about the film, but I mean, it's like,
Well, I do admire a lot about it.
yeah,
I was
we
just
do, and we're
clearly lost
talking
for a
about
lot of it.
the love for film and how this, you know, and we're shouting out film technique, other films referencing. So, but I agree with you. The movie, I don't think I can show this movie to anybody unless I know that they love film.
Yeah, I
You know,
told
and
Cody last night. I was like, Cody, I think you're the only one other than you who had already, I knew was watching it for this podcast. I was like, I think you're the only one I know. I think I could even recommend checking this out, but with an
yeah,
asterisk
right.
that it's not a traditional.
Asterisk.
But that's also like I think by the end though, emotionally, I felt not overwhelmed isn't the right term, but I felt moved by the sheer spectacle and execution of it all. Like I did feel like the film kind of won me over by the end. And I think that last sequence for me, I just was so impressed by the scale of the and oneers can be I think we're over the oneer era where people are like, oh my God, that's a oneer. And that in itself is like, like Adolescence came out last year, and I'm like, I bet that's great, but I'm just
Yeah.
tired of hearing people go, oh, it's all done in one take. I think we're over that era is my point, where people are like, it's like drone photography where we're like, it's like, oh my God, it's got drone shots in it. And now it's like, it's just in everything. Yeah, I think
I,
but I think this is like it uses that style to represent the narrative chapter of, cinema's progression towards
and,
the modern era.
and it's funny because maybe I'm an old man. I don't know. I kind of dig oneers. I'm not saying that
I
I'm
do
like,
too.
oh,
Yeah.
you
Don't
know,
get me wrong.
and
It
some
takes
of them were,
planning and execution. It's impressive, but
yeah. And the last story with the vampire, I actually like I kept saying, oh, did they cut? Did they cut?
mhm.
And if they did, they did it perfectly where you didn't even notice it. But they were kind of the camera goes in real quick and then back out. So, but I actually dug because it also in the first film there's a nice little one take as well. And but yeah, I mean
It's not just doing a oneer to do it, is my point,
okay,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
think we're over like that being enough. Like I think you still have to have a good, and Adolescence probably has a great story as well. I'm not saying
yeah,
the
yeah.
one, but I don't know that. I'm curious if you could. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it. But I remember when that came out, I was like, I bet you could probably still do this story without it being done in a one shot.
Oh yeah,
Whereas, and you could do this one as well, I guess. But I do think this film is talking about how modern filmmaking techniques have advanced over the course of 100 years, and I think that at
yeah,
least is
yeah,
being
yeah.
it's not a huge thematic component, but it is at least it's there's a purpose to it.
Yes,
um
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
not just trying to be flashy for the sake of being flashy. Even though I could say that about a lot of this film. There's definitely pacing where you're like, oh dude, we could cut a minute out of each take here. This movie's 2.5 hours long. Let's
oh yeah,
let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. That also works for me at times. I think the chapter 3 where they're in the temple, and like there's these amazing shots of like the snow falling on the
yeah.
temple, and like
I love that.
him just sitting alone in this like empty space of just the isolation that's like tangible in those sequences. I think it does make sense for it to be
Yeah,
kind of deliberately paced the way it is. And then I was completely thrown off and kind of disturbed by the demon crawling over that wall. That shot's great. I just really love that where he throws
yeah.
his tooth over the wall, and then
Yes,
when that happened, I was like, okay, like this is like it's more like a fable than it is like
yeah.
a
Fable,
traditional
perfect.
narrative.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
understand the dog at the end. What's with the dog?
I, don't,
Okay,
I think
I'm glad
that's
I'm
what
not alone in that.
I know. Yeah, and
And
that's
why
what I
does the demon? I guess the demon looks like the man's father. That was a
other.
note that
Yeah, yeah.
which that I guess were at least we were
Which
revealed as to
works.
why.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
demons always come to you with something, to trick you. But yeah, with the dog is when I sat out because, like I said, I was just like, all right, so this is how arty you're gonna be. You're gonna bring a dog to walk in, stare at the camera, and then follow you,
and then it dies
and
immediately
then
after it
yeah,
walks
and,
out.
and then I was like,
There is a line about that which I couldn't remember when it happened, where he says like something about how like the Buddha can't tell me what to do once you leave,
yeah, yeah,
and I don't really understand what that means. But I don't know. I admit that I think the details are there, and if somebody
yeah,
were to give me an analysis breakdown of each of these, I'd go okay. And then if I was going to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
this again, I think I would probably do that and probably
So
appreciate some of the details.
so
Um,
this tonight, you go to YouTube, click on the explain the resurrection, and you can watch it for an hour. Then normally between a half hour to an hour long, but as long as you didn't cheat, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do that after we hang up because I just so I could get some more. perspective on some of the stories, like especially with that one with the dog.
Sure.
Um, but
Now,
but
I also think it's a criticism I have of the film is that it is almost unintelligible, right? Like to some
yeah,
degree,
okay,
like
yeah.
what we're doing right now is going. I don't understand what any of this stuff was,
I don't
but I
know.
think the thing that makes the film interesting and really, I mean, remarkably memorable, if nothing else, is the
Yeah, yeah,
fact that
definitely.
like there's a lot to talk about, and I think by the
Yes.
end of the film, despite being, I felt lost for most of it. I definitely felt lost about how these things kind of tied together thematically. Other than just tonally, I think there's a similar sense of like some, just I don't know. Everyone has something is off, and there's an
Yeah, yeah.
ethereal component to all of them, and they all feel like a David Lynch, dream sequence at
Yes.
times.
I'm glad you mentioned that. There are some Lynchian influences as well. Yeah.
But it was, I so anyway, despite being lost for 75% of the film, and in the details going, I really don't even understand most of what I saw. I still was really impressed, and I think it's still, in the end, I felt like I think the movie knows what it's doing well enough, and I let it just kind of wash over me, right? And I had a lot of fun. I mean, like by the end of the film, I was like, that was really cool. I don't know what the hell it was, but uh, I don't know for what that's worth.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
score is also spectacular. It's another thing.
Yeah, yeah, I did like that. Yeah. Like at the first, like all early cinema, being that there's no sound or talking, I should say,
There's
they went
very
really well
sparse
with
dialogue.
the score. Yeah, yeah, and I dug that. Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, not a recommend from me. Just purely,
Oh,
you have to be a very particular type of person. But I do think there's some stuff that, like, I think more people will see this thing, and I think it will find its audience amongst us nerds that are really into
yes.
movies. And there's a lot to admire here, regardless of whether or not you understand all the details. And I think if you go into
Yeah.
it knowing that you're just going to be along for the ride for a lot of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's meant to be appreciated fully the first time in terms of
Agreed.
the detailed narrative.
Agreed. Agreed.
I think that's an issue for me personally, but I do think that there's enough to make up for that. I mean, like again, I just think that karaoke sequence at the end, I was like, man, this is really cool. I mean, I was just really impressed by them
What I
fighting
dig
in the
about it,
background out of
yeah, I was
focus,
gonna
and then
say
him,
while
I mean,
he's singing,
drinking the
they're
Coke
kicking
or
his
Pepsi.
ass. Yeah,
Oh
Pepsi.
man,
And I thought that was amazing that it was not out of focus, but definitely a background thing going on. And while he's singing this tune, drinking his Pepsi, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome right
yeah.
now.
And then they pan over and then do like a five
Yeah,
minute time lapse at the window, and you're like, what the
yeah,
fuck? This is crazy. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It just, it completely won me over by the execution of its visuals.
the
I just
visual,
was
yeah,
in that shot at the end where they run through the city back to the ship, and then like they
yeah,
jump onto the ship, and then the camera just like drops onto the ship with them. And
yeah, that was cool.
you're like, man, I don't know how you pull this shit off, man. But style is not everything. And I do think it's a problem when your film is like impossible to comprehend the first time through.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. You got to compensate for that.
But anyway, because I think it lost me for the first third. Like even though I love the opening sequence, but I was
Oh
like, I
yeah, yeah,
really hope that there's some kind of narrative here. And then the second one happens, and I'm like, okay.
yeah.
Uh, it definitely lost me for the first half, and then kind of won me over. But
In the
I don't
second.
know. It is what it is.
No, exactly. And I dug it. I dug it.
Well, I
Just
guess
would
what would
recommend
bring
it.
me into the picks of the week, which I always pick things that are related to one of the
Thematic.
movies that we're talking about. Um, just to kind of tag it, I'll do mine first because I think a film that this reminds me a lot of, which I think is a more enjoyable experience and a tighter experience, is Holy Motors. Which reminds me a lot of that. It's
Yeah, you
another
were saying that.
movie
Yeah,
about cinema. Um, I forgot that I told you that already. I was
yeah, yeah,
hoping
yeah.
for
We
that to be
talked
the
about
big
that.
reveal of like, oh yeah, here's this other movie that's very similar. No, but I think that's like it's another movie about about cinema. And I think it's told in a sequence of vignettes as well.
Yeah,
They're much shorter vignettes. There's like a few that are longer in the tail end. I think there's like a singer that comes like from the '80s. I forget her name that comes in at the end. Have you seen Holy Motors?
I saw it like you recommended it. I'll say
It's
10 years
2012
ago.
or something. I think
Yeah,
when it came
I
out.
watched it about 2014, 2015. I saw it. It was when it was still on cable. Yeah.
I think the chapters or the genre, it's more about the genre of film than
Genre.
it is
Yeah. Yeah.
the progression of film technology and narrative, approach. But like, so, there's like a monster section where like he's which is straight out of what's it from? It's kind of Beauty and the Beast, but there's something else that it's referencing, but I forget. But it's really an amazing sequence. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a where he like and he plays all these different characters. It's like the premise is that he like gets into a limo at the beginning of his day and then goes on all these assignments where he has to play the roles of all these different characters, and it's an extraordinary experience. And I
Yeah.
think it's one of the great films of the past 20 years in my opinion. But it's another film very similar to this. Obviously, but I think, and it's telling the same type of narrative story and appreciation for all these different genres and for filmmaking in general, and like the role of being an actor and playing a
Yeah.
character and how that bleeds into your personal life, and all of it's surreal and it's hard to know what's real and what's fake,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then it ends and you're just like, wow, that was unbelievable. I don't know. Holy Motors is an extraordinary film, and I think if you like Resurrection, you should absolutely check it out.
Watch
So.
watch that.
That's
Yes.
my pick. Yeah, watch that instead, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Resurrection. It's for a very particular audience, but I do think it will work for those that it's made for. But yeah, Holy Motors I think is a little more accessible, but still extraordinary. So
Yeah.
anyway, what's your pick of the week?
If you want me to put it close to that,
You
sheesh.
don't have to. You don't. You can do whatever you want.
No, 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 no. I know. You know, I always
I
pick,
just
but
make fun of you for picking random.
I know you
things
do
that-
all the time. But I mean, now that you say that, okay, it's not called. I mean, yes, I would say The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, an amazing silent film that is influenced by the first film. But there was a film that came out in 1990, and it was The Cabinet of. It was like influenced by that.
Mhm.
It was in color. It did have talking sequences, and it was like surrealistic, where the film being influenced by the Cabinet Dr. Caligari, it plays like that. Yeah, I was gonna click, but I don't. I'm being rude right now by not even looking at the camera. Let me go here to IMDb.
You said, is it 2005?
No, no, no. It's like 1990, 1980 Cabinet. No, that's 62.
I don't even know what to type here, but I'm gonna see if I can find something. Anyway,
Yeah.
you keep going. Just describe what you're talking about.
But yeah,
So
so
the Cabinet of Dr.
Dr.
Caligari.
Caligari.
Where is it? Oh, is it just Dr. Caligari? Or there's
That's
also the
what
Cabinet of Dr. Ramirez.
Ramirez now. What year is that?
Those are both. That's 89 and 91.
Ooh, so let me
There's
see.
the one of them set in Wall Street.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, yeah,
That's which one?
it's about 80s corporate greed. So I
Yes,
assume it's like
yes.
American Psycho meets, but it's like silent film.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. This is what Google gave me. But
yeah. But that is it. That is the one. It
the
takes
Cabinet
place
of Dr. Ramirez.
Ramirez. Yeah. So that one is the one I would say to watch that because, like I said, it's very similar in tone, very surreal, but like you said, American Psycho. It does give you like a nice view of the whole Wall Street thing, which was big at that time.
Yeah.
Wall Street had come out the year before, and but yeah, it's I recommend that if you guys the Cabinet of Dr. Ramirez, check it out.
Cool.
I remember it aired on PBS, so that should tell you something.
Okay.
But yeah,
Interesting. Yeah. Well, sounds cool, and I appreciate you taking the time to work through whatever the hell that was, that discussion of resurrection. I'm glad it wasn't alone and trying to break that one down. I mean, ultimately,
I
it is
enjoyed
real,
yeah, I enjoyed being your wingman through that because at least I was every time you almost gave up, I pushed you a little bit forward. But
yeah.
but yeah, I did enjoy the film though. Yes, it's a very non-accessible film to anybody
It's
else.
art house with an A.
Oh
capital
yes!
A.
Oh my God! A capital ARTH.
It's not always. It's good. It's different, and that's what
Yeah,
ultimately,
exactly.
As
Yes.
much as Rhonda's tired of watching the things that I'm like, let's watch this because it'll make for a good discussion, hopefully.
Yes,
or at least
yeah.
something.
And I told her that. I said, Rhonda, when I was in my late teens, mid 20s, me and Frank would go see the film, go to a diner, eat something small, discuss the film, And sometimes we were so moved by what we were saying, we went right back to the theater and watched it again. And
Sure.
I mean, our first time we ever did that was Reservoir Dogs.
Oh,
You
that's, I
know,
mean,
and
that's
I
one of the
remember
great films. Yeah.
we saw Reservoir Dogs. We left the theater. We were talking about it. We didn't even get to go to the diner across the street. He was like, "No, we're gonna go see it again." And we said, "Yeah, she definitely." We went right back into the theater. The girl was like, "Oh, did you lose something?" I said, "No." I said,
Just have to see it again.
We got to see it again." And we sat down, and I just sat down, and I saw that movie back to back showings, and but yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to discuss. You got to talk your
Sure.
feelings and get them out. You know. But yeah, I
That's the whole
enjoyed.
point. That's why we're here, because nobody's really
Yes.
watching, clearly.
Don't say that.
I'm
Don't
kidding.
say
That's
that.
fine. I'm just making fun. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's a good outlet, and
Yes.
you gotta talk, like, especially with I enjoy picking something. Not only does it forces me to watch a movie that I haven't seen, which
Yes.
sometimes
Yes.
I stick to just watching stuff in theaters, and I forget that I have this entire catalog of stuff that I haven't seen at home. I mean, I love the theater. That's like my
Yeah.
favorite
Of
way to
course. Of
experience.
course.
Like,
Yeah.
this is the kind of movie I wish I had seen in the big screen. But and maybe I'll save my next viewing of it for whenever it gets re-released,
It
or
gets re-released.
if it ever does. I don't know if this is going to play for in a megaplex, but
Art
yeah, I mean,
house.
ultimately though, like, with to Rhonda's criticism, I mean, ultimately, I just want to yeah, I mean, if we pick something like
No,
I
I
loved
I,
Send
I
Help,
agree. Oh yeah.
which
No, she loved it too. Yeah.
you saw that though, right? You both saw,
Yeah,
I forget,
we
we talked
watched
about
it
that.
together. Yeah, that was our
Um,
January movie. Yeah, that was good.
and
That
it's
was
like,
very
but
good.
if we did a full discussion on that movie, it would be like 10 minutes long. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. I love that film. It's really fun. I've
Yes,
seen it twice
yes.
now. And we had a good talk about it, but
Yeah.
it's not like there's nothing really to discuss about it.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like you got to pick something with a little bit more meat on it to have a full blown
Yes,
spoiler
that's what I'm
discussion
saying.
of. So,
Yes. Agreed.
yeah, I apologize to Rhonda for making her sit
Don't,
through,
you're worried about
certain
Rhonda.
things.
Don't worry about
That's fair.
Rhonda.
That's fair.
It's about me and you right now.
For sure. But yeah.
But yeah, and that's what I said because you told me about the movie when I went to Plex and put it on, and I was like, what? But I'm glad. But I'm
What? It's two
glad.
hours and 45 minutes long. What are we doing?
But I'm
Even I
glad
didn't know about
because I
that.
did, like I said, the visuals were amazing. Some of the stories I really dug, and like you said, you forced me to watch a movie I normally would have not watched, and I thought it was cool.
Oh, and to be
I
fair,
dug it.
I didn't know if we'd like it either, and I think
Yeah, yeah.
that's part
I
of
know
this.
you
It's
sound
an
like you hated
experiment.
it more than I did. No, okay.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, I think, and to some degree, though, this is the kind of thing that I'd probably turn on and go, nope, not in the mood for this right now. You know what I mean? And not finish it and not appreciate it for what it ended up being.
Mhm.
I mean, so I think there's something to that for sure. So that's, hopefully, and
Does
hopefully
Hunter?
others that do eventually watch this. Maybe it's 20 years from now when Earth is destroyed and the aliens come to Earth and find
Well,
our podcasts and go, oh, what is this resurrection
what?
movie?
Well, my
They'll see
cousin,
these two idiots discussing it and being confused about it.
my cousin Ellen listens to our and watches our podcast, and every week she texts me the next day and she's like, "Oh, where did you see it?" So she always does want to watch the films we did watch.
Is she the
Um,
one that's in Morocco?
yes, yes, yes,
I
yes,
saw that she commented on the Surat video, which is cool. It's
yes.
that it was a
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I appreciate her. And it was like she like it was like, thanks for the shout out or something. And like, she must have listened to the whole thing. Like,
Yeah, she did.
it was an
And she
hour
saw
long thing.
she watched the film. Yeah, she dug it. But does Hunter watch our show or
Oh, I
listen
don't
to?
know. Who's got time to watch our?
Well,
I
no,
mean,
I'm just
there's
saying
so much stuff out there.
because then he's
You
gonna
know.
call you and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you, Jeffrey?" He's gonna fight with you about it.
Well, I mean, and he, I mean, he has he has a great, really well thought out review of this, which you can go see on his YouTube channel.
I will. I
Highly
will.
recommend. Yeah, he's definitely smarter than me in terms of and I think to credit Hunter, I think he has a really good foundational understanding of like that 1920s to 1960s era,
60s,
kind
yeah.
of like you and I
Yeah.
that's a gap for me. Like, I've seen a lot of stuff there, but
Yeah, you have.
um,
You have.
I definitely I enjoy the more modern, like, approach to visual filmmaking, and that's kind of what I'm drawn to, is more that like late 60s to present, era
Yeah,
of
yeah.
of movies.
And I
But
appreciate that because you actually go and see almost every fucking
yeah,
movie
no, I
we
mean,
put
I
out.
love, but that's
Yeah.
partially just because I just like going to the movies and
No,
seeing
yeah,
stuff on the
of
big
course.
screen. And so yeah, I think most of what I watch is stuff that's in theaters, or at least
Yeah,
things that came out. I like the relevance of it too, and the
yeah,
discourse, and that's part of it for me. So obviously that's why we do a podcast where we talk for an
Yeah,
hour about
of
stuff.
course.
Or at least I talk to
An
you.
hour and 25 minutes right now.
Yeah, this is a long one. I think
Yeah,
our
love it.
Stephen King list took like 45
Yeah.
minutes.
I assumed that was going to happen, but I thought we were just
Yeah,
going to,
I thought so. I even thought of just doing three, and then I was like, nah, we'll just do five because we only had two movies to talk about, really.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It always happens with us in lists,
And I
though.
didn't even say some of my honorable mentions because I love Stephen King and
List
I
them
do
off real
love
quick.
some.
We won't spend a lot of time
Well,
on them, but go ahead.
so no, no, but real quick, I one of the offshoots, even though he did do the graphic novel, but Creepshow. I
Oh,
love
Creepshow's fun.
Creepshow.
That's cool.
He wrote every story in there on
Mm,
George Romero. The Green Mile we didn't mention,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
that's great.
oh, that's the other ones we did mention. So yeah, I love Creepshow. It's fun,
Mm.
it's enjoyable, well shot, and definitely well written. So I definitely say everybody check out Creepshow too to reference our Stephen King.
We've got 400 movies for you to watch this week that we've recommended here. This is like, yeah, it's like 10 top five Stephen King films and four others. Andor season 2,
Oh yes, yes,
just like all. Anyway, it's fine, but that's what we do every week. We're just like,
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah,
that reminds me of this other random thing
yeah.
that you
Right.
should see.
We always do that.
Really good at being distracted by the cinema. But anyway, it's been a good one, man. I'm glad. I
Yeah,
appreciate you.
definitely. Thank
Appreciate you
you.
watching a 2 hour and
Oh
40
yeah,
40
no,
minute Chinese
we
indie
love
art house film
we
to
love
discuss
film.
on a
I love
podcast with
film,
me.
and we do it. Yeah, no, definitely, and I appreciate it. I love this podcast.
Hopefully others enjoy it. But
They
if
do.
nothing
They
else,
do.
we got to see something interesting. So
All
I
right.
still
Well,
didn't figure. Oh, I was gonna actually one thing before I know we've tried to end this podcast 17 times. Next week, I was thinking of maybe doing. I just want to run this by you. Like for I mean, I don't partake, but Easter's coming up this weekend, and I
yeah.
was thinking of doing not religious exclusively, but like movies that are about religion or spiritual, about
Okay.
spirituality. It doesn't have to be. It's not a Christian thing. It doesn't have to be like that specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
It can
got
be
you.
critical, if anything. But just any. I'm trying to think of like how we should approach. Should we pick one that's in that realm and talk about it, or should we? I don't know. What could we do next week that ties into that concept of discussing films that are. I don't want to do a top five list again because we've been done.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Are you talking top five, or are you talking about the main focus of the show?
I don't know. I think it's just the general focus, and maybe we
Okay.
pick one to watch, and then maybe
Yeah.
maybe we bring one each to the podcast. That's like,
Yeah, we can do that too. Yeah.
and maybe that's like just give kind of your brief spoiler free thoughts, maybe on unless I've seen it, I guess. We also maybe we need to run by like which one we were gonna pick, but I think it'd be cool
I was going to
for
say.
us to watch one, that I pick, and I'll look down my list and see if there's anything that
Okay. I
I
already
was
have
kind of
one that I want you to watch, so that's cool.
okay. What is it?
Oh,
Spoil it.
I
I
I
don't.
do. Oh no no no. Okay, so I want to. I
I don't know
love
how
it.
to. I don't know what the best approach to this would be, but yeah.
The ruling class.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so definitely that's Oh my God, what's his name from
Maybe that's how
Lawrence?
we could do this. Is you recommend one for me and I'll
Yeah,
watch it, and I'll recommend one for you and you'll watch it.
yeah.
How about
Okay,
that? One that
the
you've seen.
perfect.
So you've seen the ruling class.
Oh yeah, I've seen it many times.
Okay,
Rhonda
and
hates it.
it's religious themed, or at least
E-
like about religion.
yes, the opening of the film. Yes,
Is the whole movie about it, or is it just generally like?
the wait till you see it, or you could look it up and Google it. Hold on. But yeah, definitely look it up and then text me if that's something you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think is right. But I don't want to give away spoilers now. I want to wait till you see it, or
I
and
just
then we
it
can
just
discuss
as long as it's a movie that's thematically about spirituality or religion,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
like why are we here, that kind of thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm gonna make you watch Antichrist. Is what I'm. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna
Oh, I
make
love
you.
that
I'm not
movie.
gonna.
But yeah,
Okay,
okay.
fair enough.
Lars von Trier.
Yeah.
But
No, I'll have to think about it. I'll think about what would be the best thing to punish you with. But I'll
well,
have to look
Rhonda
down my
hates the
list.
ruling class, so she'd say, "Oh, that's a good one to punish him with."
That's fair.
But
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so I'll watch that, and then I'll pick one for you to watch,
yeah,
and we'll
let me
talk
know.
about both with spoilers. So that'll be the
Yeah.
theme.
All
And
right.
I'll put that on my list to find something to
So this was episode 53, right? We never said what episode.
episode
53.
53. Yeah.
So I'm Carlos Hernandez,
And I'm Jeremy Knight.
and we'll see you on the next one. You guys take care. Bye.